Today I've got something that should be very appealing to old school RPG players. This is the Painted Wastelands by Tim Malloy and Chris Willett. This is a hex-crawling adventure and setting book, but not for 5e. This is for a system called Old School Essentials by Necrotic Games, which is essentially a modernized version of old D&D rules. Old School Essentials is available for free online. In today's paid Kickstarter preview, I will tell you more about Old School Essentials, and we'll take a look at this bizarre and beautiful new adventure setting. Just take a look at some of this art and tell me you are not intrigued. And finally, we'll see what they have to offer on the Kickstarter itself. If at any time you want to check out the campaign page, you can find a link up there in the eye in the corner or in the doohickey down below. So come along, stranger, as we cross the threshold into the Painted Wastelands. Let's start with an overview of the Painted Wastelands book. This is primarily a setting guide for your Hexploration campaign. Your party will find themselves awaking in this strange, somewhat grotesque dreamscape. You're given a number of ways to kick off the campaign and some possible adventure throughline to give some structure to the sandbox campaign. Maybe a sorcerer known as the Diseased One is the big bad that brought you here. Or maybe your characters are just trying to find their way back home. Perhaps the characters are cursed and a pilgrimage to this strange dreamland is the one path they have to salvation. Or maybe they're being hunted by a terrible creature like a void acolyte who wants to bless them with absolution. And once you get going, the book provides all the info you need to explore 35 different hexes, each one filled with strange encounters, cities, travelers, and horrors. To me, the best kinds of campaigns are the ones where you never know what you might find around the next corner, and this adventure fits that description to a T. Let me give you an example. The party will eventually find themselves at a large canyon with a rough-hewn staircase leading down. At the bottom, they'll find a blood-red river, flotsam floating on top, strange bubbles coming up from below. But first, the visitor center, where they can get snacks like the extra spicy pork rinds, the crocodile jerky, and the ever-popular Wizard's Gulp soda, all of which have mechanical effects in the game. They'll also find brochures and postcards that might point them towards other interesting locations like the Whale Temple, the most popular escape room in the Wastelands, or the Sorcerer's Marketplace. You'll also be able to join a boat expedition down the river, though it won't be without its perils. You'll have to look out for all sorts of hazards like the zombie crocodiles and a bunch of inner tubing weirdos. You'll also be able to hear a whole series of stories from the first mate Crebus, which are outlined for you in the book. Hear the legend of the albino bat demons or the cave where the gods go to die. On top of the 35 hexes of adventure, there are also 4 dungeons to explore, including that aforementioned escape room, and the floating mausoleum of the sky ghouls, the violet ruins of the Aeon dwellers, and the tower of the Diseased One. These locations are great for tying into the meta story to push your plot forward. But one of the best features of the book is the art by Tim Malloy, the creator of the Mr. Unpronounceable series. The book comes with more than 100 original pieces of art by him, and if you're a big fan with money to spend, you can even get him to illustrate your own character as part of this Kickstarter. And if you do enjoy Tim's art, another fun component of the Kickstarter is the Deck of Strange Things, a physical deck of tarot-sized cards featuring Tim's art that the players and the characters can draw from that'll have huge impacts on the adventure. The deck appears multiple times in the story itself, so you won't have to worry about incorporating it yourself. You can see some of the cards here around me. You might turn into a snail, or your brain might be replaced with a fish. Either way, you're going to be a hit at the next Wastelands rave. They're also bringing you new gameplay options to add to whatever Old School Essentials books you already have. You have 2 new classes, the Dream-Focused Caster, the Oniromancer, and the Cat. It's a cat. It's cute. Probably a troublemaker. Definitely a troublemaker. The Oniromancer gets 55 new spells to use, and you'll have at least 50 new monsters to encounter. Now let me tell you just a little bit about Old School Essentials if you're not familiar with it. If you already are familiar, you can use the timeline below me to skip around. Old School Essentials is essentially a clone of the 1981 Dungeons & Dragons Basic and Expert set brought into modern times. It is a rules-light system that focuses on storytelling and fun. Very easy to learn and play. The basic rules you need to play are available for free online. I'll post those for you right down below. There's also a ton of free resources available online, plus some inexpensive expansions if you want even more new classes and spells and things like that. But everything you need to play the Painted Wastelands is available for free. And the best part is that it's really easy and streamlined, so it's a great opportunity to bring in your friends who either prefer to play a story and character-focused game, or those who may not be familiar with TTRPGs at all, but who love creative storytelling. Now let's take a look at the Kickstarter campaign itself. Bear in mind, as always, that things can change between the time I'm filming this and when the campaign goes live, so be sure you check out the campaign page in the corner up there for all the final details and options. You can pick up the PDF version of the Painted Wastelands and the digital stretch goals for $35. You can get the physical book right here, plus the PDF and all the physical and digital stretch goals for $55. The all-in pledge is $165. You get the limited edition Kickstarter exclusive faux leather gold foil hardback copy of the book, which you can see a prototype of here. Again, it may change a bit by the time you get your copy. You also get a referee screen featuring Tim Malloy's art. The interior is filled with information to help you in your Painted Wastelands games. Everything from traveling information to how sleeping works in this setting to a map key for all the hexes. You also get a random encounter table, a loot table, and information on how the economy works. The all-in pledge also includes a set of 7 ectoplasm dice, the physical deck of strange things, and a stack of 250 paper banknotes that represent the currency in the adventure, plus the digital version of the book and all the stretch goals. And that aforementioned artist pledge to get your own character drawn by the artist is $365, and you get everything in the all-in pledge too. That extra $200 that you pay for the art all goes to the artist himself, which is a good thing. I don't want to give away too much, but stretch goals include new characters and stickers and digital comics and even more. Again, check out the campaign page for more details. I always like to give my standard Kickstarter disclaimer. Kickstarter is not a store. You are funding the creation of a new project. That means you won't get the book immediately. The estimated ship date currently is March 2025. There's also always a bit of risk involved in Kickstarter, so review the campaign itself to make sure you're comfortable backing. Finally, shipping is generally charged toward the end of production, and you can get the estimated shipping costs on the campaign page. If you have any questions about the campaign or the adventure, please leave them for me down below. And if you're new to me, my name is Theo, and I review and create adventures and minis and terrain and TTRPG accessories over on YouTube at The Gallant Goblin. You can also find me on social media at one of the sites over here. For now though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at The Gallant Goblin.